Welcome back to Lunchtime News. We are in the interactive segment, and you bear me witness. We've taken a break for about 1 or 2 minutes, and in that 1 or 2 minutes, maybe you or someone has either swapped, tapped, or even used the financial digital space. Well, how secure is that digital space? Of course, now your data, your personal data, is more or less like your new currency, and we have to guard those vaults. And joining me in studio is Martha Mura again, who is a Senior Data Protection Officer at a Family Bank. Karibu sana the program.
Thank you so much.
Maybe for our Kenyans and everyone who is watching, when you talk about personal data, what are we talking about, and what should we be keen to look out for?
So when we talk about personal data, we talk about information that relates to a human being directly or indirectly. So there are common identifiers such as names, ID numbers, KRA pins, passport numbers, NHIF, NSSF. Then we have the not so common identifiers such as IP addresses and also device ID. Then we also have a category of sensitive personal data, which now requires a higher standard of protection. And of course, in the context of banking, this includes financial data such as account numbers, loan balances, transaction history, banking statements, and also information relating to anything that, or any interaction that a customer has with a bank in terms of their money. Then another category of sensitive personal data that we should be very keen about is health information, so medical records. And why is this? This is because any exposure or unauthorized access to medical data can lead to discrimination. It can lead to stigma. Then we have biometric data. So biometric data, we're talking about facial technology, we're talking about biometrics, we're talking about fingerprints, voice recognition, anything that is unique to an individual. Then we also have genetic data. So those are just some of the examples of sensitive personal data. And what we are saying is we need to protect all categories of this data, but this sensitive data requires a higher standard of protection because any unauthorized access would lead to an impact on an individual. Yes.
And why is data protection very essential, especially now that we have a lot of technology, and especially when it comes to matters banking or online services? We've even seen, I'm quite sure you've seen a message, you're being told that you're qualified for 50,000 shillings. You wonder even where did they get my information to even send me such kind of a message? Why is it so key to protect our data, especially now?
This would have its foundation in our constitution. So Article 31 of our constitution obligates the state to provide, or rather enable, this right to privacy to each individual. So that is why with that right to privacy as a fundamental human right, we have the Data Protection Act. So it becomes very important that we understand the foundation of data protection as from the right to privacy. So in terms of digital identity, so we have, if someone has accessed a service, has bought, has interacted with a marketplace online, has a digital, is interacting with digital tools, digital apps, they have a digital identity. So similarly to the way we protect ourselves, each day we wake up, we shower, we change, we brush our teeth, is the same way we should have a digital hygiene because we have a digital identity. We can call that your digital twin. So how does your digital twin look like? So are you protecting your digital twin? Are you oversharing information online? Because in the back end, we do not see, when we download an app and key in information, we do not see what happens in the back end. We have an ecosystem of players. We have big tech companies are waiting to profile you. We have data brokers who are willing to sell your data to the highest bidder. We have advertisement agencies who want to send to you promotional messages. So it is very important for us to think about what is the impact of us sharing this information online. The more information you share, so every time you click agree, I accept, you're actually giving away your power, because now we are moving from the traditional thinking of data protection as being hacked to more of how much control do I have over my personal information? So right now we are moving the conversation to privacy is power.
It's a good thing that you've mentioned that when you agree to anything, you're also relinquishing that power that you have, because you find a lot of people, you know, terms and conditions accept, you just don't read everything, you find somebody clicking. We're talking about data protection. What are some of the digital risks that Kenya should be looking out for?
So some of the most common risks are social engineering. So when we talk about social engineering attacks, we're talking about tricks that scammers use to make people divulge personal information or click any links that are malicious. So for example, we talk about phishing. Phishing is where an email is sent to someone. For example, you can receive an email from somebody purporting to be a bank official telling you that we need to update your account, click on this attachment. That is a way in which scammers are making you to click links that will infect possibly your device or divulge information that may divulge your login info. Then we have other tricks such as smishing. There's what we call smishing. Smishing is where, and it's very common right now with SMSs, where an SMS is sent to you, especially it could be during a certain period. So for example, right now kids are returning back to school. So you could get a text telling you you have won a voucher for your school fees. You need to give us your PIN for you to get this voucher, and it always has an aspect of urgency. So then you get people, because perhaps you are in financial distress, you may need this money to pay for school fees, you forget about these tricks. Then there is the other common one where scammers call you. They pretend to be people from maybe a service provider or even a bank, telling you that we need to update your account, or your account has issues, so can you give us your password? So it is very important for people to understand that these are some of the very common tricks that scammers use to be able to get into your accounts. And the ripple effect of that is that you will have your identity stolen, number one. If your identity is stolen, it could be used to commit criminal offenses. It could be used how to take loans. So if someone is taking a loan on your behalf, what does that mean? It means that you may not be able to honor your obligations in terms of your responsibilities. Also, it could give you a bad credit score because you're taking out loans and you're not able to repay those loans. So that is why it is very important that the public and customers are very vigilant on some of these tricks that scammers use. So that is more on the social engineering attacks.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to the figures themselves. I remember speaking to a data analyst and a security officer from one of the tech companies, Safaricom, and saying that they face up to millions of threats every month. What exactly are you doing in the financial sector, and especially Family Bank, to protect customers' data?
So in terms of what we are doing, of course, as an industry,
Do you find these threats as well?
Every financial services, as long as you are operating in the digital space, there are always threats. And we have artificial intelligence right now, which means the threats are becoming more subtle. You cannot be able to figure out, and also the malicious actors, they are getting more efficient because they are able now to use AI in a way that can harm the industry. So in terms of data protection and cybersecurity, this is it's not just a security or compliance or risk issue, it's also a leadership issue. That is why we find that in most banks we have this item as a very serious agenda from the board level, and also in terms of getting resources, personnel, and most banks actually have a security operations center where they monitor some of these threats that come in, and also how to deal with them. And there are also other forms of risk management processes, such as security audits, vulnerability tests. We also have very many technical measures, advanced security such as encryption, where we are able to ensure that any data is confidential, and in terms of confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
My director informs me we need to pick up the pace, but I want to ask you, what initiative have you as a bank taken to not only protect customers' data, but also to educate them? Because sometimes you find people don't even know how to protect the simplest of all, simple OTP.
As Family Bank, we are doing a lot in terms of education. We always send out SMS to our customers in terms of their passwords. So in terms of password management, we always advise them that your password is your secret. Ni siri yako. So you should not be able to share it with anybody else. And also in terms of ensuring that you report suspicious activities. So we tell them at no point will you be called to give out your PIN with your password by a bank official. There are proper channels for you to do that. And if someone calls you, you need to also ensure that you report that. And also with the advent of AI, right now we have fraud management systems. So with AI, you're able to pick up suspicious activities in real time, so that even if it's the responsibility of the customer to ensure that their data is protected in terms of password security and also PIN and OTP, we're also trying to monitor our environment to ensure that there's no money that is lost on their end. Yes.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but I would like to just give you 10 seconds for your closing statements.
So basically, this is a call to the public to ensure that we take our privacy more seriously. We ensure that our children are also protected, because right now with digital risks, you find that children are exposed online and they have a digital identity. And how would they feel? And this is a question to the public. How would they feel 10 years down the line that they find themselves on social media and they were not able to give that permission, or it's affecting their livelihood in that way that they never anticipated?
Thank you so much. That has been Martha Mora, who is a Senior Data Protection Officer at Family Bank. And again, thank you for pulling down the curtain on these digital shadows that you're finding that a lot of your information. Just Google your name, you'll find that you'll find yourself in some spots that you really didn't know you had access. But Kenyans, the vault is yours when it comes to the financial sector, when it comes to mobile and digital banking. The vault is in your hands. Make sure you're the only one with that key. Thank you so much for that discussion. And remember, a quick one, it is a Data Protection Week, so you should get in contact with your financial advisor or even your financial institution. They'll give you a lot in regards to how not only to protect your data, but also educate you on some of the risks that are there, especially in the wake of the AI.